This is 4K 30 footage from a Nikon Z30, and it looks pretty good for an entry-level camera, but there's something you can do that makes it look professional, that sets it apart from people with their 8K smartphones. This is the Sigma 16mm f1.4, and it's going to change this completely. Let me show you how. Now this looks professional. The video is cleaner, the video is sharper, but maybe the most noticeable thing is now I have real background separation. Now I pop off of the background. It gives it a 3D look, and it's really what makes a video look professional. And if you want to look professional, you cannot be using your kit lens. This is the Nikon kit lens, and it's okay. It's small, it's compact, and I'll bet it costs less than $20 to make. It's not a Nikon problem. Like, no manufacturer really gives you good lenses. You should upgrade it to get good results. I have two more Sigma lenses I want to show you. This is the Sigma 30mm f1.4 and the Sigma 56mm f1.4. These are available for Nikon, of course, but you can also get them for just about any other platform.
Sony, Fuji, Micro Four Thirds, these lenses have existed for all major mounts except for Canon RF, but they are new to the Nikon mount.
And Nikon APS-C has needed these desperately so that you aren't stuck with that kit lens footage.
If you like bokeh, check out the results from the 56mm.
Look at this. This is completely professional, right? Can you believe this is an entry-level camera with a third-party lens? Yes, you can get these results without a lot of money. By comparison, this is what the kit lens looks like at the telephoto end. You can see it is a dramatic difference. When you're ready to buy, head to Adorama. They're sponsoring this video, but they're also what we use to buy all of our camera gear. There are a few reasons for it. One, they have the best prices.
When you buy something from them, they often throw in a lot of free accessories, so be sure to select that option. But more importantly, Adorama is part of the creator community. They understand us creators in a way the other places just don't. When you shop, please use our links because that lets them know that you heard about them through us and makes unbiased reviews like this possible.
Thank you, Adorama. I'm going to be testing these three new Sigma lenses, showing you their strengths and weaknesses. I'm going to check them for video autofocus, which I'm doing right now. I'm going to test the sharpness, of course, for stills and video. I'm going to check the bokeh, the contrast in a studio environment, because I want to make sure you get the most bang for your buck, that you create the best images possible. But first I want to talk about low light performance. People always ask me which camera they should get to get good, clean images in low light. And the answer is usually to keep your current camera, but change the lens. So I'm filming this with the Nikon Z30 and its kit lens. Let's swap it out with one of these Sigma lenses. This is the Sigma 56mm f1.4. In full frame terms, it's 85mm, which makes it technically a portrait lens. It provides a more formal point of view. You could get this focal length with the kit lens, but you wouldn't get this nice background blur.
But more importantly, the Sigma lens will give you cleaner results in low light because it's gathering about 10 times more light because it has a f1.4 aperture instead of f6.3.
Let's try the 30mm Sigma. This 30mm Sigma is about 50mm in full frame terminology, and it provides what we call a normal point of view, which, well, it's not really normal, but it feels a little more intimate than that 56mm lens did, right? Because you feel a little bit closer to me. The 56mm would be good for professors and teachers or anybody who wanted to appear serious. This is a little more closer. This is like a good sort of YouTube informational video length, but it's also good for modern casual portraiture. Let's switch over to the 16mm. This 16mm is 24mm in full frame terms, and it feels downright intimate because this is the focal length of most of your smartphones. This is the focal length you use when you're FaceTiming your closest friends. This is the kit lens, and you can see it's much noisier. It has to run at ISO 4500, whereas with the other lens, it was more like ISO 500 because it was gathering so much more light. But also, all the stuff is very sharp in the background. Like you can see my old unused treadmill reflecting in the mirror there. You don't get that same background separation, so it feels less professional. It feels like a smartphone video, like somebody didn't really try, like they couldn't get good equipment. You really got to upgrade that kit lens. I switched to the Nikon Z50 because it's my favorite of the Nikon cameras for travel because it's just beautiful. It feels like a fashion accessory, right? And the kit lens is nice. It matches, but it has a serious problem. It's not really any better than your smartphone. Let me take a picture and I'll show you an example.
Zoomed back, you can see the iPhone actually has better dynamic range. It captured the blue sky the way my eye saw it. Zooming in on the details, there were many places where the iPhone looked better, but I couldn't find a single place where the Nikon's kit lens looked better.
And that's a real challenge because, well, this is cool looking. This is something I'm carrying with me anyway. And this doesn't require me to copy files, so your camera really needs to be better than your smartphone if you're going to use it. But let me pull out one of those Sigma lenses.
Zooming into that same part of the picture, look at all the purple and blue fringing at every single edge that is just unnatural and ruins the photo, but the Sigma handles this perfectly. Throughout the picture, the Sigma just shows more detail.
So you see a lot of the cool techniques you can use with your real camera that you can't do with your smartphone, you also can't do with your kit lens. And that's why everybody really needs to update their lenses. Now, it doesn't have to be one of these Sigmas, though if you're shooting on a Nikon APS-C camera, they're really the only choices you have today. But whatever type of camera you have, Sony, Fuji, whatever, head to this link, and that brings you to our page at Adorama, where you can find the best lens for your camera. Gear from Adorama will let you do things that separate you from every smartphone photographer out there. And if you're not sure what you should get, Adorama has people you can chat with. They have a phone number you can call because Adorama is made of real people, creators like you and me who want to help you. They don't just want to sell you gear, they want to help you along with your photographic journey. When you use our links, you help to support our unbiased reviews and tutorials. So thanks for sponsoring us, Adorama. Each of these 3 focal lengths is right for different situations. The 16mm is perfect for like close-up vlogging. I'm shooting at that equivalent focal length now. It feels intimate if you're going out with friends to a club or a restaurant. That's what I would bring. But for walking around, travel stuff like this, I really like the 30mm. In full frame terms, that's about 50mm, and that's the focal length that street photographers have used for a century. It isolates subjects a little bit more. It provides a little more working distance. Now you could get this focal length with your kit lens, but what you can't do with your kit lens is separate the subject from the background. And that is what makes this stand apart from a smartphone.
In the picture taken with the Sigma lens, the birdhouse just pops off the background. Look at how this tree is cast out of focus. With your kit lens, it's perfectly sharp, and that's okay, but that's also what you expect from your smartphone. Zooming in, the Sigma is just way sharper. Even with just 20 megapixels, you can see the difference.
Let's see how it handles macro capabilities with these flowers.
With the Sigma lens, well, first you get much closer. You can fill the frame with the subject. But the fast f1.4 aperture casts the background out of focus, isolating the subject, giving it this dreamy feel. With the kit lens, you get this, flat and boring. Of course, with the Sigma, you could shut the aperture down to whatever you want. You could get this picture with the Sigma, but fast lenses give you creative options, and that's what photography is all about.
It has a huge focusing ring, which makes it very precise when I need to manually focus on something. This whole tower is interesting, but it makes a boring picture without some kind of focal point. So I want to show you a trick that I use to turn the sun into a focal point by using a high f-stop number. So I'm going to go to the highest f-stop number possible. And I'm just letting the sun peek through behind the tower.
You can see the Sigma lens makes a bold starburst with distinct rays, whereas the kit lens is just kind of scattered and smaller. Comparing the Sigma 16mm lens, look at these nice, clean blades. The kit lens is just an absolute mess. At the long end, the kit lens starts to look a little bit better, but the aperture blades are irregular. The Sigma Prime shows evenly spaced starburst blades.
And of course, I got to try with the iPhone.
The iPhone's lens doesn't even have an adjustable aperture, so it's completely incapable.
You can see having a real good quality prime lens really allows you to use some creative techniques that you just can't do with your standard kit lens. I want to show you the 56mm lens too, but it's more of a portrait lens. So I'm going to go home and see if I can get Chelsea to let me take some pictures of her. The 16mm was good for vlogging and sort of everyday close-up use. The 30mm was good for street photography and more distant travel. This 56mm here is more of a portrait lens. It compresses the facial features and it does a really amazing job of blurring out the background. And it's going to make the biggest difference between either your kit lens or your smartphone. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a picture of Chelsea with this kit lens and compare it to my iPhone.
If you're wondering why so many people are happy with their smartphones, this might be it. Chelsea really does look better on the iPhone picture. You can see her skin tones are more natural, but also the background is nicely out of focus, whereas the kit lens captures everything in focus, adding lots of distractions to the picture. You can see the iPhone's computational photography does a good job of simulating real bokeh. Even the ear and flyaways are nicely and naturally blurred. And if we zoom in even further, we can see the iPhone's image is actually cleaner with less noise. But this isn't the camera's fault, it's the kit lens's fault.
So I'm going to turn this flash on here. This is a flashpoint strobe from Adorama, and I've got my flashpoint adapter here. This allows me to wirelessly trigger the strobe. So first I'll just show you what it looks like when I add flash. Already the flash makes a huge difference, and the ability to trigger the flash is one of those things that differentiate your camera from the smartphone. But let's go ahead and add in the flash and this 56mm so you can really see a difference.
Wow, look at the huge difference the Sigma 56 made over the kit lens. The background here is just a wash of color. She seems to pop. It looks 3D. Look at the gorgeous bokeh balls that these lights in the background turned into. All of this because you changed the lens. But there's more. If we zoom in, the 56mm is so much sharper in the places that count, like the eyes. But the shallow depth of field also blurs the places you don't want sharp, like the tip of the nose. Getting great portraits really is as easy as adding a nice light and getting a new lens.
Wow, that is a big difference. So definitely check out the Sigma APS-C lenses if you're using one of the Nikon APS-C cameras. If you have a different camera model, you probably have other options available, but these are also available for you. Whatever it is, you should upgrade from your kit lens, and you should do your shopping at Adorama. Use this link here. That lets them know that you heard about them through us, and it helps to support us. And I support Adorama because they're part of the creator community. They understand us. They have the best, quickest, free shipping. They have just about everything you need in stock. They also have really good programs to support us, like providing you a bunch of free accessories when you buy from them. They have VIP rewards programs that I'm a member of that actually saves me money. So use our links to buy any of this gear or any photography gear that you use. Thanks for sponsoring us, Adorama. In the comments down below, I'd like to know any questions that you might have so we can do a follow-up, and subscribe because we're going to be reviewing the Nikon Z30 and the Canon R8 very soon. Bye.